Yo, what is up? What is happening? Welcome back to another episode of Those Car Dudes. Today, we're talking all things E30. It has been a really long time since we've made any kind of video on the E30, and the truth is a lot has been done, which I'm gonna fill you in on today. And the second thing is we are very close. We are very close to getting this thing on the road, and I've been saying that for a long time, but I've already driven it now, so we are getting close. So today I'm gonna fill you in on what's been done, where we're at, and where to next. The last videos that you probably saw on the E30 was when we got the motor back from Alan, plonked it in the hole, it looked real pretty, and then we made another video of us installing the Chase Bay kit for the power steering, which was really, really cool. And then after that, crickets. We haven't made a video on the E30 since, and a lot of people are like, where the heck is it? We started working on other cars and other projects, which was cool, but the E30 kind of got put on the back burner. I was going through some family stuff that was happening for a while there, and it meant that the E30 was kind of second priority to everything else in my life at that time. But the cool thing was when I did pick it back up again, we went all at it. I started pulling the wiring loom apart, laying it on the floor, and trying to work out where everything went. And it was a massive process, but I managed to wire up the car the best that I could. And then from there, we moved on to a whole bunch of other exciting stuff. Like I put in a bigger radiator from a Z3M coupe, like a factory replacement, which is a lot thicker, a lot bigger. And I put the biggest electric fan that I could on the back of that thing because I didn't want the car overheating. And it honestly just fit between the front of the car and the motor. So that was really, really cool. And then we started like just doing all the other bits and pieces around the motor and getting things connected and all of that. One thing about E30s that you may or may not know is the brakes. They're not very good. They're actually really bad. Being an older car, brakes is one thing that you definitely want to upgrade, and so is suspension. And I always wanted to do a 5-lug conversion on the car because I knew that by doing a 5-lug conversion, I could run bigger brakes, I could run cooler wheels, and it's just better in every way, let's be honest. But there's a million different ways to cut the cake in doing a 5-lug conversion on an E30. And many of those ways require you having to sacrifice on the size of your wheels or the offset on the car changes and that sort of thing. But I wanted to try and work out a way that I could run a 15-inch wheel if I wanted to for track days, so tires would be cheaper and that kind of thing, but still run bigger brakes so that I'd have better stopping power and still maintain the factory offset of the car, so I didn't have to like pump the guards out, do any crazy wide bodies or anything like that. I really wanted to keep the body as factory looking as possible. From that point, we did a whole lot of other little things like the pedal box and just basically anything that was kind of that I could put on the car at that stage. I did as much as I could, and I got the car to a level where I was like, that's great, on to the next guy. And one of the things I actually did was a Holden Barina steering linkage. And if you know anything about right-hand drive E30s, you've got a crazy exhaust manifold that has to go past your steering linkage, right? And it's all like kind of tucked in together, and so a lot of manifolds don't work for right-hand drive E30s, even if they're an E30 manifold. And so I saw this set of spaghetti headers online from IE Motorsports, and I was like, those look cool. I really want those. And so I ordered them, but I needed to do a Holden Barina linkage so that it would clear the exhaust. And for the most part, it did, but it needed a little bit of tweaking from my mate Adam, who's a fabricator, a good friend of mine, and I took it to him. He managed to fit the exhaust up nice, and I ordered a Super Sprint rear section and mid section all the way from Italy. It took 4 months. It took a really long time. They hand make these exhausts, and when it got here though, I was stoked. But my friend Adam, he managed to fit everything all up. He fabbed everything together. He even cut off the existing V-bands and put these even better ones on, and made all these custom hangers, and he made the exhaust fit exactly the way I wanted it, which was so, so cool. Because even if an exhaust says that it's just a bolt-on option, not always do they just bolt on, and I know many of you would have experienced that. So he managed to make it fit really nice. It's really tight under there, and it doesn't move around. And he's such a good fabricator. Like, hey, I don't know a whole lot about welding, but his welds look really good, man, and he did such a good job. I was so, so happy So shout out to Adam, you're the man, bro. Really appreciate your work. So I sent the car off to Grady at High Tech Motorsport, and he did a great job at looking at my list of the things that I believe still need doing or touching up on the car, and then looking at the car itself and going, okay, this was done right, this was not done right, we need to redo that, we need to change this. And he went through the whole car, which was great, and gave me a massive breakdown on what needed to be done. It broke my heart a little bit, but Grady suggested that we pull the wiring loom out that I had put in the car and redo a whole new loom, like make a new one from scratch. So that's what we did. Grady made a whole new wiring loom. We connected it up to a Link G4 Fury ECU, and that just gave us a whole lot of room to work with in terms of getting the motor running to its best possible performance, I guess you could say. And even though it's an old motor, having some new technology behind it can't be a bad thing, right? Grady also went through the car and fixed a whole lot of the mistakes that I had made or the things that were still yet to be done, and got the car running. And it was about this time that I got the call to come on in and see the car on the dyno. I'm just happy it's working. Seeing the car working on the dyno and not blowing up was just incredible. Like, I think I was just in disbelief more than anything. Like, the car, after over 6 years, is finally running again. And it was so cool to see that. It made 190 horsepower at the wheels, which is not bad for an old 6-cylinder. I mean, it's been rebuilt, but that's cool, right? And I haven't done ITBs yet or anything like that, which I'd love to do later down the line, but we'll see. But I'm pretty happy with that power figure from that old M20 technology, which is very exciting. I went online, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I kind of like punched in the at the wheels horsepower and then what that would equal in terms of horsepower at the crank. And they reckon it could be up to 240 horsepower at the crank, which is not bad. I'm pretty excited. After the car had been dynoed and everything had kind of been checked over at High Tech Motorsport, the car was on the truck and to auto stance. So our good friends Matt and Heino Auto Stance could look at the car and make a list of any of the last bits and pieces that needed to be done on the car before we could get it certified for the street. Responsive for something that doesn't have ITBs or anything like that. It just got a normal flywheel. It's pretty responsive. I'm stoked. That feels amazing. We obviously didn't take the car very far. We just went down the road, had a quick little drive, and then took it back to the guys at Auto Stance. But my goodness, like, wow, was I pumped. Like, I don't think in the video I'm really showing it as much as what I was feeling. I think I was just shocked. You know, I was finally driving the E30 after all this time. I can tell you, the car feels fantastic. Still a few kinks to iron out, but currently that is where the car sits, and we're still going through that cert process. But my goodness, like it just feels so nimble, it feels so light, it feels so new. Like everything feels, the shifter, like I did a Z3 short shift and everything, and all the bushes, and the car just feels like brand new, like just straight off the lot in 1989, but better, like upgraded and nimble and grippy and fun and light, and oh my gosh, like all the adjectives, it's fantastic. The car's not done yet, but the finish line is in sight, and it's so exciting. I know some of you have been following along for like 6 years plus. I just want to say a massive thank you to those who have hit me up. They say, where's the E30? What's happening? Some of you have DM'd me, some of you have sent me updates on your car, and it's really encouraged me to keep going on the car, even when things kind of got rough, and I was like, man, am I ever gonna finish this thing? And the truth is, part of the reason why it's taken so long is the cost. Like, let's not hide behind any curtains here. I've had to fund this thing, and sure, we've had the odd thing discounted or sponsored by the odd company here and there, but most of this stuff I've had to pay for full price out of my own pocket, and it's costing me a lot of money. And you don't need to know what that figure is, because you'll probably fall off your chair. And it seemed absolutely crazy at times what I've been doing, but I've just learned so much. I've learned how to work on a car. I've learned what things do, how they come apart, go back together. It's just been incredible, and I haven't done everything by myself. It's taken a lot of people to help along the way, and that's been cool too. Meeting people, building relationships with people, and just learning so much. I've absolutely loved the experience, even in the hardest times where I've stripped a bolt or broken a gearbox mount or like something like that, you know? Even in the frustrating moments, there's so many memories associated with this car, and I know that every time I drive it, I'm just gonna be thinking about all those people I've met along the way, and honestly, it's so much more than a car to me. It's a whole experience. It's like a memory book. I'm stoked.
I ran out of gas just as we came in, so perfect time.
Whether this is the first video you've watched from us or you've been watching for years or anything in between, just want to say a massive thank you to you, and make sure you hit that sub button. We got plenty more videos coming out very soon, and I'm going to make sure that we make more content on the E30 once I've got it back in my ownership and once it's back on the street. So look forward to that. But thanks so much. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.